Hello and welcome to this video. I want us to learn about complex number. So what is a complex number? So a complex number is a number that is in the form of a plus bi. I'm going to explain to you what a and b stands for. So a and b are real numbers, any real numbers, and then this complex number is made up of two parts. So this part a is called the real part, so it has the real part and the imaginary part. So bi is the imaginary part and a is the real part. So I want us to look at some examples of complex number. So look at this. Z, let me call this complex number Z, or rather we can have Z1, 3 plus 4i. 3 plus 4i. So that is an example of a complex number. So 3 stands for the real part of the complex number, and then 4i is the imaginary part of that complex number. Look at this other example of a complex number. 4 minus 5i. 4 minus 5i. So the real part is 4, and then the imaginary part is negative 5i. So we can write this as 4 plus negative 5i. Okay, so the imaginary part is negative 5i. So this plus sign that is in between these two parts is just to join these two parts. Okay, you cannot add a to bi, so it's just used to join the two parts. So let's have another example of a complex number. Z3 is equal to 4i. Now look at that complex number. So what does this mean? This means that the real part of this complex number is 0. Okay, we can write it as 0 plus 4i. Okay, so the real part is 0, and then the imaginary part is 4i. Okay, let's also look at another one. Z4 is equal to 5. Okay, this means that the imaginary part of this complex number is 0. Okay, so it's plus 0i. So those are a few examples of complex numbers. So I want us to learn how to add complex numbers. So if we have a complex number, let's say Z1 is, or let me just use the ones that we have here, 3 plus 4i, and then Z2 is 4 minus 5i. So what will be Z1 plus Z2? Okay, I want us to add the two complex numbers. So what we do in addition of complex number, we add the corresponding parts, the real part to the real part, and then the imaginary part to the imaginary part. So for this case, we are going to add 3 to 4, so that will be 7, and then plus 4i minus 5i. Okay, so that is going to be negative 1i, or simply negative I. So let's have another example. If we have a complex number, let's say Z3 is 2 minus 4i, and then we have Z4 as 3 plus 2i. So you can first of all pause the video and try to work this by yourself. I want us to get the value of z3 plus z4. So just pause the video and try to work it out and then confirm whether what you did is the correct thing. So as we said, we need to add the corresponding parts of this complex number, the real part to the real part, the imaginary part to the imaginary part. So it's 2 plus 3 is going to be 5. So that is the real part. And then the imaginary part, we have negative 4i plus 2i. Negative 4i plus 2i will be negative 2i. And that is the value of z3 plus z4. Okay, let's have one or two examples of how we can subtract complex numbers. It's not different from addition, so you can try to work it out by yourself. Let's try to work out, let's subtract, let's say we have another one, z5 is equal to 7 plus 8i, and then z6 6 minus 3i. So go ahead and try to work out z6 minus z5. So what will be the value of z6 minus z5? So it's not different from addition. You just need to subtract the corresponding parts of the complex number. So z6 minus z5 will be 6 minus 7. 6 minus 7 is negative 1, so that is the real part. And then negative 3i minus 8i, so that will be negative 11i, and that is going to be the answer to z6 minus z5. So in the next video we are going to learn how to multiply complex numbers. We're going to look at multiplication of complex numbers. So catch up with me in the next video.